what's up, people? Jay here, going to be discussing a few things from this latest episode of Monday Night Raw that capped off with the return of Triple H and Kevin Owens becoming the champion of the universe. I'll be getting to all of that a little later on, but I do have a few tidbits throughout the show that I would like to speak on. First and foremost, I'm actually watching a GIF on my phone right now, that crazy-ass spot in that Sheamus versus Cesaro match where Sheamus flipped Cesaro to the point where his back rammed into the ring post, and then after that, he throws him in the ring, hits him with the Texas Cloverleaf, and Cesaro taps out. That was a really nice spot in the match, and I'm glad to see that they're finding some kind of way. You could actually see they're going out of their way to keep these matches fresh and try to reinvent the story with these two guys as it goes on, and that's something very important, especially seeing that as they're in a best-of-7 series that really could go the whole 7 matches, and then you take into account they had 2 friggin' matches before the series even started that didn't even count. So yeah, they're really going to need to do that going forward, and I'm just hoping that they find a way for these two guys to succeed in this feud, and we don't get this negative sum booking or zero sum booking. Like, we actually have them coming out of this feud as more important characters in the grand scheme of things in WWE, and whoever wins this feud, they really need to be propelled forward with some kind of momentum to become an important player over on Monday Night Raw. And speaking of momentum, let's go ahead and talk about Sami Zayn and shit. Where the hell is his momentum? He comes out of Battleground, this huge win over Kevin Owens, and it's especially like glaring right now when you look at their positions on the card. Kevin Owens is now the Universal Champion, and Sami Zayn, he's not doing anything but hobbling around on a bad fucking ankle. And I'm thinking that this was a cheap way for WWE to provide an excuse as to why they're not doing more with Sami Zayn. Let's give him a kayfabe injury to have him battle with that, and then that'll explain why he's not going for the Universal Championship. That'll explain why he's not going for something bigger on the card. And I just wish that they would have found something more for Sami Zayn, or maybe even hop in the DeLorean, go back in time, and have Kevin Owens win that match. You kind of have to wonder, like, I guess WWE was kind of forced into the position where they had to put the championship on Kevin Owens, so they really couldn't plan for something like this to happen. Like, they couldn't plan for Finn Balor to get injured. But yeah, if Kevin Owens had just won that damn match right there, the sweet moment that we got on Monday Night Raw would have been even sweeter. Just think about it. But I really wish they would find something for Sami Zayn to do. Yeah, let's talk about Charlotte. But he's selling the hell out of that injury, though. Like, he really had me fooled last week. That dude was selling like a friggin' champ. But speaking of champions, and look, I'm just working my way into these fucking transitions. Charlotte, the WWE Women's Champion. I have to say, she's growing on me. She's really growing on me because I feel like she's recapturing a bit of the legitimacy that she had in her character down in NXT. The attitude that she displays in the ring, the attitude that she displays when she talks, I'm really, really digging it. Like, when last week I didn't get a chance to talk about this on YouTube because I was doing other stuff, well, with the kayfabe tier list with Steven, but she was talking about how she's the greatest female athlete on this planet. She was like, forget about Serena Williams, forget about Simone Biles. She's the greatest. I noticed she didn't mention Ronda Rousey. Like, she knows what lines to fucking cross and, you know, what lines to, okay, I'm going to leave that one alone over there. But I like the attitude that she has. And like I said, it's adding to her legitimacy. And even her trash-talking Sasha Banks, because Sasha cut a promo on the pre-show for Raw, and she was talking about how, Charlotte has her daddy and has her little lackey, Dana Brooke. And Charlotte jumped up and said, okay, well, at SummerSlam, my dad wasn't at ringside, Dana Brooke wasn't at ringside, and I still beat her. So what's her excuse there? I really like them building Charlotte back up to the point where she seems like a real athlete that goes into the ring and commands attention in that sense, and she's not being a pesky heel, and she's not trying to annoy you. It's just that I know that I'm that damn good, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to prove it to you. And the way that she just dismantled Sasha Banks, some people would say a little too effectively, but I already talked about this in the review of SummerSlam. Just the attitude that she had. Maybe the execution needs a little bit of work, but the attitude that Charlotte is displaying right now is growing on me. So go ahead, keep doing that work. Here, Kevin Owens is the champion of the universe, and I really wonder what the Martians and the Saturnians. Have we even figured out names for the aliens on all of the other planets? Like, I wonder what they're thinking about this moment, because this affects them too. We can't be selfish in a sense that we think this is only about us Earthlings. This affects the whole fucking universe here. Kevin Owens is our champion, so somebody needs to go and find out, what they're thinking. Maybe we could send Donald Trump. I don't know. But I digress. The main event of Monday Night Raw was a fatal four-way match, fatal four-way elimination match for the championship, the vacated Universal title on the line. It had Kevin Owens, Big Cass, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And we got a surprise appearance from Triple H. I think this was the first time he's been seen on the main roster since he was defeated by Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and he rushes in after Big Cass has already been eliminated from the match. He pedigrees Roman Reigns on the outside of the ring, rolls him back in. He's pinned by Seth Rollins. Then he jumps into the ring, and he pedigrees Seth Rollins, allowing Kevin Owens to get the victory. Now, there's a lot of speculation going about what does this mean for the relationship between father and son, Triple H and Seth Rollins. What does this mean? And I mean, you can really read into it, and I like to do stuff like that, conspiracy theories, but I think this one is pretty plain and clear. Triple H was just showing Seth Rollins how to properly execute a pedigree, and just so happens, it's a coincidence that it all happened during a Universal Championship match. That's all that was. He was just sitting back at home, was like, you know what? You've been using this move for so fucking long and you still don't got it right. Papa's got to teach you a lesson here. And he jumped in, and unfortunately for Seth Rollins, I mean, if he had gotten it right before this time, then maybe he would be the champion right now. Who knows? But I guess the more you know now, Seth Rollins. But seriously, as far as it relates to Kevin Owens being the Universal Champion, this is an amazing moment for me as a Kevin Owens fan, and I know this has to be an amazing moment for him too. Me looking at his story and not even necessarily knowing much of his story before he got to NXT, but I guess that's just a testament to how great he is as a talent, the way that he was able to play out that story and get people who weren't really familiar with who he was before he made it to NXT. I knew Kevin Owens. I've seen a few of his matches and I was impressed with him, but I didn't really become a fan until he debuted in NXT, and I was like, God damn it, that dude is the real deal. And I've thought that every single step along the way, all the way to him winning the Universal Championship, and that is just a testament in his favor, the way that he could tell that story on screen, and it resonates with people when they get invested in that story and they're able to share in this moment with him winning his first world championship in WWE. Such a great moment for him, and knowing that Kevin Owens is the Teflon Don, I tag him with that Teflon Don moniker in WWE, because there are so many people on the roster who they're there now, or they've already left the WWE, where it's I could look at you and I was a fan of you at one point, but the booking just got to be so shitty that it made me disgusted to see you on screen. I could say it was Charlotte before, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. I can name more names, but you know what? This is all about Kevin Owens in this moment, and I'm so glad to say that he never got to that list where it's that stink is on you, to where every time I look at you, it's just I'm so fucking disgusted to see you. It never got to that point with Kevin Owens, because of how great he is as a talent, and know that no matter what position WWE puts him in, somehow, some way, he's going to be entertaining. Somehow, some way, there's going to be something redeeming about him, and that's just who he is as a person, and that's just who he is as, a character, and that's such a great thing that he has working for him. Now, I will say this. It was kind of interesting knowing how much of a fan I am of Kevin Owens, and knowing how much I've loved a lot of what I've seen of him in WWE, to see a different kind of Kevin Owens in that moment that led up to him winning the championship. Because him, cautious, tucked away in a corner, that's a very different Kevin Owens than I'm used to seeing. Because I'm used to seeing a Kevin Owens that commands his own destiny, that takes his own fate within his hands, and he's the one that's driving the car basically on this journey. Because if you look at what he did down in NXT, the way he stabbed his best friend in the back, he manipulated his friend into a championship match, and then he stood over his best friend's broken body with the championship, knowing that that's what he wanted to do all along. And the way that he just flawlessly manipulated that entire situation, and he took his destiny in his own hands. He commanded his own destiny. You look at him debuting on the main roster, beating John Cena, squeaky clean. He commanded his own destiny. For him to be sitting back and watching someone else take control, that was just a little weird for me. And I wonder what that means for Kevin Owens going forward. Is this an indication of who he's going to be as champion? Like, are they going to pull a switcheroo and have this different Kevin Owens be champion? Or are they going to move him back towards the legit, serious, and sadistic Kevin Owens? Because that's what I really want to see. I'm hoping that what we saw on Monday Night Raw was just something to get from point A to point B. It was just a lot of converging plot lines that WWE had to deal with, and Kevin Owens was taken along for the ride a little bit, and this isn't like, we don't need to read any further into this as far as it relates to Kevin Owens, because there's a lot that we can read about with Roman Reigns, there's a lot we can read about with Seth Rollins, but I'm just hoping that when it comes to Kevin Owens, that he can continue to be the Kevin Owens that I know and love in WWE outside of the orbit of all of this stuff that's going on. And that's actually a tweet that I put out long before I saw Kevin Owens actually winning the championship. I hope that he drops the comedy routine that he was on recently with Chris Jericho, and he moves back towards being the legit Kevin Owens that he was down in NXT and when he initially made his way up to the main roster. Because I think that there's a whole hell of a lot of money in a guy like that being champion, and WWE even knows it. But the weird thing is they won't allow many people that are there on a week-to-week basis to do it, because we can see legitimacy in people like Brock Lesnar. We can see it in Triple H. But, and we saw it a little bit with Roman Reigns, too, in his feud with AJ Styles. I'm hoping that we could see that with a person like Kevin Owens going forward. But even outside of Kevin Owens, you still got the stuff with Roman Reigns and Triple H. That's easily explainable. I mean, Roman Reigns was the person that took the championship from him. You have the stuff going on with Triple H and Seth Rollins, which we got to find out what's going on there. Like, why the hell did he choose that moment of all? If it wasn't the whole pedigree thing, him just teaching Seth Rollins how to do the pedigree, what did that actually mean? And, Stephanie, like, there's still like a loose connection between Stephanie and Seth Rollins. We've been seeing that. We saw it at the draft show. We saw it a little bit tonight where they were reminiscing backstage and talking about how Seth Rollins was going to become the champion and stuff like that. So there's always been like a loose connection between those two. It wasn't as tight as it was when they were in the Authority, but clearly Stephanie didn't know what the hell was going on, because she had that look on her face like, what the hell did you do to her husband, Triple H? And they're usually a team that does dirt together. I remember that time where Triple H beat the brakes off of Daniel Bryan, and it's like they were getting off on that. Like, they were making out and stuff, and yeah, so it seems as if there's a little bit, maybe there's a story there, some friction building up between Triple H and Stephanie, and what did Triple H, mean when he attacked Seth Rollins? I'm guessing that this is a face turn for him, so that's another line of discussion that we could explore there. There was a more natural opening for WWE to go with a face turn for Seth Rollins if this is what this is going to amount to. They could have done that with him coming back from injury, and that would have seemed a lot more organic when you had people basically begging for WWE to allow them to cheer for Seth Rollins, but they stuck to their guns with a heel character, and it seems as if we're moving in that direction right now, which could mean really good things for Monday Night Raw overall, because it is looking a little light up top, especially with Finn Balor going out with an injury and, you know, whatever the hell is going on with Roman Reigns. I don't know. I really don't know. But everything that happened on this show, it did breathe a little bit of life back into Monday Night Raw, because the struggle has been real on Raw. What I'm looking for going forward, hopefully, is a little bit more consistency with the characterization of the people on the show, and some solid stories that I can see built up on a week-to-week basis, and them not relying so much on shocking moments, because they can't live and die by those shocking moments. Because if you look at what's been happening on Monday Night Raw and look at what really pops, you'll say what happened tonight on the show and then go back to what the first episode of this new era of WWE, with Sasha Banks winning the championship, and, you know, a few of the other things that happened on that show. It's like they live from one shocking moment to the next. I'm hoping for a lot more consistency, and them being able to tell out a compelling story on a week-to-week basis. And maybe with a Seth Rollins face turn and Kevin Owens being champion, maybe this is a good start to that. Like, we needed to do a few things and rearrange a few pieces of the puzzle so that we can, you know, get on the right road. And now that they found out that direction, let's move ahead with some momentum and some force. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what we get from Monday Night Raw. That's it for me in this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Leave your comments down below. What did you think of the things on the show? And, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for the SmackDown review. Peace.